Boxing has been an ever-present sport in America, dating back to as far as the 19th century, with the first televised contest broadcast by an American network occurring on the 1st of June 1939. Arguably, boxing's popularity in the U.S. has declined over the past 30 years or so, but it still remains as a top event and is unlikely to ever disappear completely. 1. Muhammad Ali, professional boxing record, 56-5. Known to all, Ali is widely known as the greatest, for a reason. With a professional career spanning from the 1960s to the early 1980s, Ali not only became known for his extraordinary in-ring skills, but for his role in changing the world of boxing outside the ring. In 1999, he was named Sportsman of the Century by Sports Illustrated and Sports Personality of the Century by the BBC. Ali was a three-time world heavyweight champion, and competed in some of the most famous fights in history, including what was dubbed the Fight of the Century, against Joe Frazier. Both fighters were undefeated, and this resulted in Ali tasting defeat for the first time. Ali was someone who thrived in the spotlight, and became renowned for his trash-talking persona. Outside of boxing, Ali became a high-profile figure for racial justice due to his draft evasion for the Vietnam War, which led to Ali not competing for 4 years. 2. Joe Louis, professional boxing record, 66-3. Joe Louis, also known as the Brown Bomber, is not just regarded as one of the greatest fighters, but also the most influential fighters of all time. He was a major cultural figure at a time of racial segregation, and was crucial in breaking the color barrier in sports. Louis held the heavyweight title from 1937 until his temporary retirement in 1949, marking this the longest reign in heavyweight history. He also defended the title 25 times, which is the most in history. His rematch against German boxer Max Schmeling is regarded as one of the most important contests of the 20th century, due to the fight becoming symbolic for the worldwide struggles against Nazi Germany and racial prejudice. Louis was a brilliant tactician in the ring, and will forever remain a cultural legacy. 3. Mike Tyson, professional boxing record, 50-7. Nicknamed Iron Mike, Kid Dynamite, and the baddest man on the planet, Tyson dominated the heavyweight division in the late 1980s due to his pure power, aggressive style, and intimidating presence. He still holds the record for the youngest heavyweight champion in history at 20 years and 4 months, after defeating Trevor Berbick in 1986 for the WBC title. He also became the first heavyweight to hold the WBA, WBC, and IBF titles simultaneously and unify them in succession. One of the biggest upsets in boxing history came in 1990 when Tyson was knocked out by Buster Douglas, losing the undisputed heavyweight championship which he had held since 1987 in the process. Tyson's legacy will forever be cemented in history. He was a fighter who quickly rose to the top and became one of the most feared men in the world. 4. Rocky Marciano, professional boxing record, 49-0. Marciano was a formidable fighter and is still the only heavyweight to retire undefeated. He was the world heavyweight champion from 1952 to 1956, successfully defending his title 6 times during this period. Despite being on the lighter side, Marciano had incredible durability, which would explain why he was only knocked down twice in his professional career. He shares the highest knockout-to-win percentage in world heavyweight title fights with Joe Louis at 85.71%. And despite retiring early at 32, has solidified his status in the sport. 5. Larry Holmes, professional boxing record, 69-6. Nicknamed the Easton Assassin, Holmes had an impressive boxing IQ and is regarded to have one of the best left jabs in heavyweight boxing history. Often overshadowed by the Tyson era, Holmes was an incredibly technically skilled fighter, and this helped him fight as the world heavyweight champion from 1978 to 1985. He won his first 48 professional fights and only suffered losses in world title battles. These victories included a famous win over Muhammad Ali in 1980, which was Ali's only defeat by stoppage. This fight showed an older Ali being dominated by Holmes, who was visibly emotional during the fight and in post-match interviews. Holmes has since been inducted into the World Boxing Hall of Fame. 6. Evander Holyfield, professional boxing record, 44-10. Famous for his fight against Mike Tyson in 1997, where Holyfield had part of his ear bitten off, the real deal, is the only four-time world heavyweight champion and was the first fighter to become an undisputed champion in two weight classes, after dominating the cruiserweight division. Known for his resilience and toughness, his win against Tyson in 1996 was arguably his best fight, as it was dubbed Fight and Upset of the Year by the Ring magazine. Holyfield's fights against Tyson, Riddick Bowie, and Lennox Lewis are cemented in boxing history. 7. George Foreman. Professional boxing record. 76-5. Big George fought his opponents with pure power in his youth, and as a two-time world heavyweight champion. His first victory came in 1973, when he gave Joe Frazier his first defeat after knocking him down 6 times within 2 rounds. His fight against Ali in 1974 was a historic fight, with both fighters putting on a show and exceeding everyone's already high expectations. Foreman lost this fight, suffering his first loss and losing the title. In 1987, he made a shocking return to boxing after 10 years out. He won the world heavyweight title for a second time in 1984, becoming the oldest world champion ever at 45. Due to his impact on the sport, Foreman was inducted into the World Boxing Hall of Fame. 8. Sonny Liston. Professional boxing record. 50-4. Liston was known as one of the most intimidating men you could face in the ring, having immense strength and an incredibly powerful jab. The Big Bear lived up to his name when he won the undisputed World Heavyweight Championship in 1962, knocking out Floyd Patterson in the first round and showing himself to be one of the hardest hitters in history. He fought Patterson again in 1963, but like the previous fight, knocked him out in the first round. In his rematch against Muhammad Ali in 1965, Liston suffered a first-round knockout, with many fans suspecting this fight to have been fixed. Nearly 6 decades later, it is still debated whether Liston was actually hit or not. Outside the world of boxing, Liston fell into constant controversy, having links to organized crime and a dangerous reputation. 9. Riddick Bowie. Professional boxing record. 43-1. Bowie's boxing career spanned from 1989 to 2008, before switching to kickboxing from 2013 to 2016. Despite his size, Bowie's work rate and stamina was exceptional. Adding to this his skills and strength, it's no wonder he only has 1 loss on his professional boxing record. Bowie held the undisputed World Heavyweight Championship in 1992, and in 1995 he became the first boxer in history to have won titles in all 4 major sanctioning bodies, which were the WBA, WBO, IBF, and WBC. The main highlight of Bowie's career is arguably his first victory against Evander Holyfield in 1992, which has been regarded as one of the greatest heavyweight bouts of all time. 10. Deontay Wilder. Professional record. 43-4. Wilder made his professional boxing debut at the age of 23, and won a bronze medal at the 2008 Olympics in the heavyweight division. This led to him being known as the Bronze Bomber, and he has since established himself among the greats. In 2015, he famously became the first American world heavyweight champion since 2007 after defeating Bermane Stiverne. He held the title until 2020, defending it on a total of 10 occasions, and becoming recognized as one of the hardest punchers in boxing history.